Welcome back to For the Mamas Collective Podcast, a space where we believe in the power of connection and shared experiences.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jaleesa. We're so thrilled to have you back for our 15th episode.
This podcast has been a dream for both of us because as moms, we know just how much connection, community, and a space to feel seen and heard really matter.
For the Mamas Collective is all about creating that space, a warm, welcoming environment where mothers from all walks of life can come together to share stories, explore the highs and lows, and celebrate the journey of motherhood.
And today's topic is one we know a lot of you will feel in your bones.
Mhm.
We're talking about the power of saying no.
Right. The boundary setting, guilt releasing, life freeing kind of no.
Mm, because let's be honest, no is a complete sentence. But as
Mhm.
moms, we've been conditioned to say yes to everything and everyone, and it's exhausting.
That's right. So today, we're digging into what it means to set boundaries with family, friends, even society, and how we're saying no can actually create space for the things that matter most.
But first, let's start with our weekly Rose and Thorn check in.
And y'all know the drill at this point. You should. The Rose and Thorn is where we share something good from our week and then something that was a little rough. Danielle, you want to kick us off again this week?
Yes, ma'am. So, my roses
Uh-huh.
this week, always plural. I'll
Uh-huh.
take roses over thorns any week.
Yes.
Um, but roses this week, we oh gosh, I just feel like there's so many. But we got to celebrate love, Black love specifically, yesterday, and
Mhm.
that's always amazing. And so I just being with family and friends alike, it was beautiful. So definitely,
Mm.
I love the warm and fuzzies. That always
Yeah.
gives me rose vibes. And
Yeah.
then after that, we did our rounds. And I know y'all are sick of hearing me talk about our remodeling. You got to be sick of it. But listen, I just love to see little mama pop up,
Yeah.
wherever, whatever she's done. I like to find the work when it's completed because they don't notify us. And so you have to
Yeah.
just be vigilant and on it because you'll miss it. But we did. We
Mhm.
found her in the Carter store, and they're going to give us the poster when the ad
Wow.
is done running. And so, super excited about that, just to have a piece for her collection. Um,
Yeah. Aw.
yeah, yeah. Found her on a website for another toy too, and just seeing it, it kind of makes you just like reflect a little bit, right? Like,
Yeah.
wow, like where were we at that point in our life? Or like she was so little, or
Mm.
just remembering how much fun we had on set. So it's always just like an outpour of emotions when that
Mhm.
happens. And then of course Easter, the kids love it,
Yeah.
but I woke up to a
Yeah.
text from my 20-year-old, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Thank you for the Easter basket, Ma." And it like really
Aw.
comprised of a bunch of stuff for his car.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like things evolve. He loved it. Chase was excited. He didn't want anything outside of a golden egg. And so
Mm.
he did the Easter egg hunt at his dad's house this morning, and there was a golden egg with $20 in it.
Wow.
And boy, was he
Yeah.
excited. Yeah, he didn't mention anything else in that Easter basket.
Oh my god.
But he found his golden egg. So, those were my roses this week. And I know it feels like
Mm.
they were all like over the weekend. But I
Mhm.
really did have a good week. I feel like those were, they're just really sticking with me right now.
Yeah.
Um, this thorn is from
Uh-huh.
the week because let me tell you, if I make plans, okay, let's say to get a pedicure at 12:30 on a Friday while I'm on the clock,
Mhm.
I expect to be done with my work by that time.
Yeah.
So don't laugh. This is not funny because
I
some people
can't.
think this is me being ridiculous. But
Oh.
when calls start running over and when people are filling my time,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like that. And
Yeah.
so Friday, like I had my whole afternoon planned. I was like, oh, I'm going to take my girlfriend. We're going to go get pedicures for her birthday. And
Mhm.
then, we're going to take the kids to a water play date. Like it's going to be great. No, no, what?
Mm.
No, everything was delayed by at least 2 to 3 hours. We missed the play date.
Whoa.
The salon was packed because it's Good Friday. So, all the grandmas, they were in
Mm.
there getting ready for Resurrection Sunday. And no, seriously, like we waited forever.
Oh my god.
And like I said, we missed the play date. And then I was just like, well, Lord, now it's time to pick up,
Oh,
Chase from school. And we just, I don't know, it just felt like the weekend just work just kind of ran into the
yeah.
weekend. And I don't like that because I
Oh
planned
yeah.
on stopping early on
Yeah.
Friday. And I guess my manager saw fit to do otherwise.
Mm.
So that's my thorn because don't ruin my plans.
I
First
hear
world
you.
problems, but
Right.
listen, they are problems
Right.
nonetheless.
Right. That's real though,
uh,
right? When you just know you about to do something good and it's like, oh, this not it's not all right.
right.
Being
And
steamrolled.
you know what it is, and this is what I got to stop doing because I know what it is.
Mm.
The minute I say, "Oh no, I'm not that busy. I got the afternoon free." The minute I put that out there,
Oh,
it's like it just flies straight to management's ear, and they'll be like, "Oh,
oh
Danielle got
yeah.
some free time." She does not. That's not what I was talking about. So I just got to
Oh,
stop telling people I'm not busy and just,
right.
I got to kind of move in silence.
Yeah,
That's what I
okay.
got to
So
do.
we gonna revisit this when we get into the meat of this no, because sometimes we gotta tell ourselves, no, no, I'm not busy. No. I'm not available. I mean, like, no, I'm not available. I tell myself that first, so then I can say it to you, and you understand. Don't no, my. You know what I like to do? I will put a hold on my calendar. No, can't
And
nobody
I
surprise me.
will. Don't you know? So there, one call ran over, and then like she started asking more questions. I was like, "Hey, so sorry, I gotta jump. I've got another call to get
Hmm.
on." She's like, "Okay, ping me when you get off. We can."
No,
I
girl,
melted.
figure it
I
out.
was like, "What? Why do you want to get back on a call?" Like I seriously talked to the same person for like 5 hours on Friday.
Ugh. Oh,
Could have cried. I came downstairs. I was like, Trey, my cheekbones hurt. I've been on
yeah.
camera all morning with this
Oh my
smile
God,
that,
smiling.
and it's not that I'm not happy, but it's just like when the other person is like looking at you smiling and asking questions and so excited and you feel like you have to match that energy.
Yeah.
Girl, my cheekbone, face
I'm
was sore.
tired.
Ain't did nothing but work.
Right.
But I have a job, so that's
Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah. Oh
But
god.
I mean, tell me about you. Tell me you got some good roses.
Ooh, girl, that I'm just thinking about that's so funny. What are my roses? You know what? Okay, because really was trying to find it. It was like, and it was a good week. I just nothing really stood out. But I did I've been doing breath work a lot more with clients. And so actually I have a client who she works with someone else in the practice as her primary therapist, but that peer recommended her to me for breath work and she wants to
Mm.
like do it consistently. So this is like, the insurance company about to pay me for doing breath work and that's a beautiful thing. So that's a really
Oh,
big
yes.
that's a big rose cuz um I really want to move into that space. Like, I love people dearly. I'm kind of tired of talking. I
Mm.
want to do the more somatic work, and the whole week has been me like living in that space of like, well, let's get in your body, and yeah, we talking, but that's not gonna change the experience. At this point, we've
Right.
talked it out. We're gonna have to really get down into the body, and people have been receptive to it. So I'm just excited about that. My thorn is I had a long, treacherous week. Like there's so much hopelessness and fear in
Mm.
people that I just feel like emotionally, like you said, like I'm just sitting here smiling and I'm
Mhm.
just sitting here trying to keep my energy to myself and not consume anybody else's and not get stuck in the fear of the world today and not do my thing of like, yeah, but it's all right. Let's divert. I have to just let people feel what they feel about it.
Yeah.
But the hopelessness of so many people, that's kind of hard to sit with because I don't live in that world. I'm choosing not to be hopeless in this world. Like I don't care.
Right.
I don't. I care, but y'all know what we mean when we say we don't care in this podcast. I don't care what's happening in the world. Like if I care too much, then it takes up too much space.
Right.
So to then get into work and this every other person's life right now, I'm so mentally and emotionally drained from that. I can't wait for 4 years to be done, if nothing else, so people can feel like they can have a happy life. I'm trying to do the
Yeah.
work to help them see that they can right now, but boy, are they trying to keep me from my goal of joy. And I'm like, geez. But there's a lot to be joyful for. But also, I understand that everybody's situation is different. But it's so what the thorn is dang, it hurts that so many people feel so hopeless.
Yeah.
Um, and my line of work, I feel it and see it every day beyond family members. It's like
Right. You almost can't
everywhere.
escape it, which is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
holding space for you because I know our home is running in that same way, right? Like we're protecting our peace, what
Yes.
we can control. We're not worried about anything else. Even when people ask questions, it's just like, listen, every decision we make is solely based on, you know, us. Like it's not, we're not
Mhm.
considering the state of anything else. Like, does
Yes.
this feel like a good decision for us right now in this moment?
Yeah.
And one, having that mindset is hard.
Mhm.
But having to protect it is even harder, you know?
Yes.
And so, oh,
Yes. That's it
I'm
right there.
yeah. Wow.
Yep, yep. And you said, and you know what? That's why this episode falling right here on this week is really actually perfect.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so much power in boundary setting. Even with myself in the emotional exchange, I'm choosing to say, no, I'm not picking up hopelessness because
Hmm.
20 people I've seen this week are. I'm not.
Yeah.
So that's just my version, of the power of saying no, even if it's just to my inner self that wants to cloak and cover I can't cover that. So I'm not going to. I'm not picking that
Yeah.
up. I don't want to. I chose joy. So, maybe the universe is going to show me a lot of hopelessness because are you sure you want joy? Yeah, I do.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes, I do. So I'm going to say no to all the BS.
Mhm. But I mean, listen, you know I support you
Yeah.
100%. And I
Yeah.
just encourage you, the path you're walking is
Yeah.
yours. Like this is where you were meant to be. And
Yeah.
I know we didn't talk about it last week, but even when I called you, like, listen, girl,
Yeah.
I need to breathe. What am I supposed to do? What does this look like? I've heard you speak of breath work. Like, y'all know. I
Yeah.
mean, Jaleesa, if I could figure out how to get my insurance to pay her, I would. Across state lines,
Yeah.
but just such a great friend and just leading us
Mm.
there, and even the experience afterwards. I am
Mm.
convinced that when I was quote unquote sick, that
Mhm.
was just the work,
Mm.
that we had
Mhm.
done.
Mhm.
And so yes, I believe in it, and I know,
Yeah.
you got to have a little bit of faith
Mhm.
to really see things move, and I think that people might be missing that now, but you're doing it.
Yes.
So anybody, if you got somebody talking to you about breath work, if you in Chicago and you need somebody, y'all better come find Jaleesa.
You better come
Come
learn
find her because
some.
there's power in it. You don't have
Yeah.
to hold anything you don't want to.
And that part. There
You
you go.
don't. You don't.
There
And
you
there's
go.
different ways to move it. And ooh, I have experience firsthand
Yeah.
moving that energy.
Oh
Just shifting
yeah.
it. This is not for me. You can go.
Mhm. That's
Yes.
right.
But no,
That's
you
right.
stay in your purpose and just keep doing it. When they say no, you say, well, this is what we have.
Right.
Here's what we can do.
That's
Get you
right.
to from a no to a comfortable space. Cause wow.
Yeah. Well, thank
Whew,
you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the
yeah.
uh the acknowledgement. That feels good. I got chills.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you're doing it. I feel like we've been
Mm,
talking about this for years too. Like not to
yes.
deviate or get off topic, but we
Yeah.
have been. And I think now more than ever, like the world needs it. They
Mhm.
do. And to find somebody who's been as dedicated to the craft as you have, just
Yeah.
the trainings, the teachings, the studyings, the practice,
Yeah.
like that, you don't find that everywhere. You don't. Y'all better get off social media thinking you getting
Right.
all the answers. Dr. TikTok ain't gonna do it. Go
Not at
find you a
all.
professional.
Right. And it's possible, from one black person to the next who might need to hear it, and then specifically to black women because everybody else knows and understands. It's
Yeah.
us that hold on to suffering and too many yeses and overextending ourselves and over indexing and feeling the weight of the world on our shoulders. it's
Hmm.
us, it's our bodies. And so the dedication is like, I want every black woman and man and child to experience breath work and somatic work, because your body is holding on to decades and generations, stuff that's not yours, whole lot of energy. And the work and the practice was ours. We I believe we were here first. It's us. We the source, and but we're so far removed from it that we don't get it, and we don't
Yeah.
know. And so
Yeah. Get
mentally
back
we got to
to it.
get
Yeah.
ourselves there, get back
Get
to
back
it.
to it.
So
Find it. It's, I mean, life changing. Just even
yes.
sometimes we just look at each other now and it's just like breathe. And that's all we have to say, to just like take a minute
Yeah.
to reset in the middle of the day.
Mhm.
But life changing.
I love
So
that for y'all. I'm so glad it
I'm
did. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like we be segueing. We're so good at this.
Yeah. We
We're
are.
so good at this because for those who struggle, right?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I feel like no is a large part of that. So we can just
Yes.
jump right in. Like, why are we denying
Yes.
ourselves?
Right. Why is it so hard to say no?
That I don't know. Like, I do know. So
Mm.
I think a lot of us have been trained, conditioned,
Mm.
um,
Mhm.
to believe that saying no makes you selfish,
Mm.
which is hard because I know personally, this is coming from your formal people pleaser.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be seen as selfish because I am truly one of the most selfless people I know.
Yeah.
Um, but like as moms, like I know we're supposed to be available, accommodating, self-sacrificing, always like we're supposed to do all this stuff.
Mhm.
But I've learned that you can say no and still be all those things. Like I now
Yes.
have boundaries. I'm still selfless,
Yeah.
but I'm not afraid to say no,
Absolutely.
you
Yes.
know?
Yeah, that no is a part of the giving.
Hmm.
No can be a part of giving. You don't have to over index to give a little bit and keep a little bit.
Yeah.
And that the wild thing is, I think too that it's learned, right? So even as kids, so even as moms, again, I guess we're still doing this work of like, allowing your child to have a no,
Yeah.
allowing your child to have a voice, because then we all grow up. And then, our life is full of people pleasing, wanting to accommodate, being self sacrificing. Like I say, holding on to suffering, which maybe isn't an overfull yes,
Hmm.
for everybody else, for something outside of ourselves. So it starts before motherhood, but once we become moms, it intensifies.
Yeah.
Because suddenly, you're not just saying yes to someone else, you're saying yes, even if it costs you your time, your energy, your peace, because you got little people. You have to say yes to their needs in life, whether
Hmm.
that's okay, you want to try an instrument, you want to try, a sport, you're going to have a play date. That's a thing. I mean, like, well, I will say no to play date in a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just that is not my favorite thing to do. But then I feel guilty and bad, and then I'm like, "Oh, but we could go to the park. I just don't want to go to the park with them." Um, but it's in that, and like, okay, I want you to have an enriching life, so I have to say yes to everything, right? I want to be the mom that you enjoy. I don't necessarily need to be a fun mom, but all this stuff, right? And even with your
Right.
partner, you just are like, I want to, my yes becomes, I just don't want you to have trauma. I want you to have a good life. I want you to be a good person. And so the yes is so darn heavy too.
Because it's amazing when you start thinking, and I mean, I do this weekly, but just
Mm,
like in decision making, the rapid firing of questions that come, and
mm-hmm.
it's so fast, but it's just like, what will they think of me? Will they be mad? How will they feel? Does this make me a good person, a good friend, a good mom, a good daughter, a good,
Yeah.
and it's just like I'm now out here considering their feelings
Right.
and ignoring my own. I feel like when
Right.
we say it out loud, it seems so simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple. Like, why do we
Right.
do this?
Why do I do that? Yeah.
But we do every day.
Mhm. Every day.
Hmm.
Every day we do that. And I like I said, this week, I have been talking to clients about this particular thing, saying no, using it as a power move to gain your power back. So hopelessness, helplessness,
Hmm.
feeling out of control were a lot of themes that I had to work through this week with clients. And it's like, well, at this point, I'm kind of like, you're giving your power to things that are outside of your control. Yes, they are. What's within
Yeah.
your control? Sometimes that's going to be a no. Your no
Yeah.
is a powerful thing that you can control. Whether and if you want to say yes, let it be from a heart space versus an anxious space versus a
Hmm.
fear-based space, right? And so you can, like you said, you can care very deeply, but that no is still going to be there, and it's powerful, and it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't go to that event. Or you know, I can't pick up this phone call and talk to this friend because I know she needs a lot and I just don't have the capacity. People are out here depressed and still pouring out for others. Wait a minute. You haven't even figured out how to brush your teeth every day. You're that depressed. And you holding the phone for somebody else? No, let's change that.
Yeah.
Let's say no to that for a little bit. Let's not volunteer so much of ourselves to other people and say, okay, but you know what? I think I need to rest. I think it's okay that I don't pick up the phone. And maybe I have to communicate that with you in some way, but
Hmm.
it's also it's no, just because I need to follow my intuition and my gut and myself first.
Right. Yeah.
So
I mean, saying no
yeah.
to someone else or something else is really saying yes to yourself. That's what I'm hearing,
Yes.
right? Like
Yep.
it's saying yes to me, yes to my priorities,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not about we talked about this last week
Yes.
with the birthdays, right?
Yep.
It's not about me rejecting you, it's about me choosing myself.
That
So, if
part.
you're hurting that, that's not my work.
Right.
I'm gonna
That's not
need you to
me.
go work on that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can work on it alongside of me and we can, get on
Right.
that train together. But like, no, this no
Absolutely.
is every no is another yes, in my opinion.
Right.
And
Oh
I think we
yeah.
could all use that right now,
For
you
sure.
know?
Right. You get to overflowing space and then it all benefits inside and outside.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, let's try to, invite the audience in here a little bit. So,
Okay.
let's get into this part. If you're listening right now, we have a few questions for you to sit with. So, this is a good time to turn the volume up, pull over if you driving, or come
Right.
back.
Mark the timestamp so you can
Yeah.
come right back.
Get on back to this part right here. So, number one, where in your life are you saying yes when you really want to say no? And there's a Bluey episode about that. Y'all go find that.
Mm,
That's really cute. It'll help you. Number two, what are you afraid will happen if you say no? Mm.
mm,
And number three, and maybe the biggest one, who taught you that your no needs to come with an explanation? Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
okay. Yeah, give me a
Ooh,
second.
yeah.
That one, seriously, is me all day, every day.
Mm,
I find myself still saying no and writing out an explanation. Like I will
yeah.
text you an explanation. And I'm talking about like really write it. Like,
Yeah.
and I write it to the point where I'm like, girl, you're babbling. What are you saying? And then I have to go back and erase it and just send the no
Mm.
thank you. Or
Mhm.
no, today doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
like I really explain, like what I'm doing
Yeah.
down to the minute why I don't have time to do this. And
Okay.
I know I know subconsciously that I don't have to do that. I learned that years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
But yet I still find myself doing it. And I have to walk myself out
Mhm.
every time. When I will not. Sometimes I just sit there and I read it and I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, Danielle, you know that's why you're saying no. But they don't get that. They don't
Right.
need it. What they need to know is that no is the sentence.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
all.
I owe you nothing else. And so I read it, I see it, I delete it, and I send my no.
I like
And I
that
and
you're
I
working with yourself, right? You're not trying to be someone
mhm.
different of like, I'm just typing no and that's it, but staying with your process, but also inviting that little last piece of like, all right, cool, I got that off. I understand. And now here's your no. Two
Here's your no,
letters.
yeah. And it's not, I mean, ideally, if I could just say no, yes, but I
Yeah.
have to, I literally get to a point where I'm like, 1,000 characters in, and I'm like, girl, you're still typing to say no.
Yeah.
And I snap out of it. And then I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
now what have you said? Do you feel better?
Mhm.
Delete.
Mhm.
No.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Right, like,
so yeah,
hmm.
ideally I won't always be here. But the fact
Right.
that I recognize that I'm doing it and that I'm still feeling what I'm feeling, but I'm not compromising on my no. I'm
Right.
I'm not giving you the explanation, and I'm also not saying yes. You're still just
Mhm.
getting the no.
You just gonna get this no, right? And that,
Yeah.
to me, again, that goes back to how you were raised as a kid and what you experienced. Right now
Mhm.
we're recording on Easter Sunday. Some of y'all having an insecure attachment with your faith and Christianity, but we'll talk about that somewhere else because we have a hard time saying no. Some of us have been like, you know, oh, give so and so a hug, do this, do that, and now you saying yes for everybody else because you've learned to do it your whole life,
Yeah.
and we just don't. And then that when we do have a no, it's an explanation. Oh, I'm sick. Yeah, because you didn't yes yourself to illness. You've yes
Mhm.
yourself to the point where now you get to have an excuse to say no. You can say no without the excuse there or
Yeah.
explanation. Like, no,
Yeah.
because I don't want to. No,
Right.
thank you.
Yep.
And
Yep. You don't even
and
need the cuz I don't want to, because it
right.
doesn't matter.
It don't
Is
even
it Let me
matter.
ask you a question.
Mhm.
When you receive a no, right?
Mhm.
Say you
Yeah.
you shoot out an invite, an offer, you need
Yeah.
help, whatever.
Yeah.
When you receive a no with an explanation, does it really change the way you feel? Does it soften the blow? Because when
No.
you ask the question, I'm sure you were looking for a yes. I mean,
Yeah.
if I ask for her, hey, I'm moving next week, can you
Yeah.
help me? And you tell me no, I've got X, Y, and Z, or I have to work in
Yeah.
it. Does it make it any better?
Not really. I mean, it doesn't really change it, especially if I
Yeah.
know you. Again, I think I've curated my space enough to know that, like, it's okay if you tell me. And then maybe that, okay, well, maybe that's something. Family or friends or whomever. If you asking somebody and you scared of a no, I don't know about that relationship. You might want to consider them dynamics. Because if
Mm,
I ask Danielle for something and it's a no, I don't feel any way about it. If I was
right.
I don't even think I'm expecting the yes. I'm just asking and I'm expecting you to make the best decision for you. It doesn't have to
Yes.
be that you meet my need. If it's a no for you, that's a no for you, and that's okay. My girlfriends
Say
are
it again for the people in the back.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, like, I don't hold that an expectation when I have an ask. It's just an ask. There's no need for me to expect a yes or a no. It's just maybe something will come of that. And my girlfriends are funny because they're like, "You sure Sunday off limits for you?" Yeah, because I'm no good the rest of the week. I can't hang out. I want to be when I'm out hanging out. I want to hang out. Sunday, I'm tight. I'm tight on Sundays. I'm all in my
Hmm.
head about the week. So I'm like, yeah, no, Sundays don't work for me to hang out. And it's just now that's the thing. Like, I don't even before our recording the podcast, it was just like, no, Sundays don't work for me. And yeah, that's a little bit more of an explanation, but it's still like if someone asks me directly, do Sundays work for you? No, Sundays don't work for me. And that's it. And I don't hold emotion on how why I feel that way. They just don't. And I don't hold any emotion about what the other person is thinking or feeling. And I had to get to that place.
Oh
And I,
yeah.
I think the war with mom guilt got me to that place that, like, I have to say no. I can't. If I said yes to my kids all the time, that would just send me over the edge. If I had to worry about my no all the time, that would send me over the edge. I'm really okay with
Mm,
saying no to my kids. No. Now, to them, I will give them an explanation because they're children. An adult, you understand what no means. But my
right.
kids, they are due that communication. Because they need to understand the choice and why.
Hmm.
Because I want them to understand when it's time for them to have a no, then your voice is gonna say, that little voice inside is gonna be like, oh yeah, it's okay to have a no. Mommy had a no and
Mm.
she communicated that. And I could say no and communicate that. We tell Sydney that all the time. Like, you don't have to. There are some things you do have to do. But, Sydney, you want to go here or there? No, not really. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm not going to impose guilt on you, but the mom guilt,
Mhm.
I've gotten to a place where I'm working through that enough to be okay with whatever comes behind the choice. But that thing is, it likes to pop out. That is a little
Yeah.
a little monster
Yeah.
under the bed, ain't it?
And you know what? I think when we speak of mom guilt, I think that's actually what's also made it easier in a
Mhm.
sense to say no to others because
Mhm.
I mean, y'all know how the oil flows in my house, but if I can say no to my children
Mhm.
and not feel bad, I certainly shouldn't have a problem saying no to a
Right.
friend, another family member, a coworker, a
Right.
boss, right? Like there's no reason that that should be
Yeah.
uncomfortable for me because I've worked through this. You know,
Yes.
I'm telling them no. Yes, again, at a certain age, they are getting an explanation. There are some very hard no's that Chase gets.
Mhm.
And I mean, Marquise knows, but he expects that at this point. Like you ask me a
Yeah.
question, it's gonna be yes or no.
Right.
But sometimes Chase, he's just like that. And sometimes he wants to ask why. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he knows not to. Um,
Right.
and sometimes he gets an explanation, other times he does not.
Mhm.
But again, I think those are very circumstantial,
Yeah.
but it's just the point. Like, no, if I'm comfortable saying no to my
Mhm.
children, if I was able to get over that mom guilt, I'm
Yes.
certainly not going to have guilt anywhere else. But I think that comes with time. I think,
Yeah.
had I or should I find myself now raising my children around other parents who don't, use a lot of
Mm.
no's, where that
Mhm.
guilt gets them every time and they're just tripping over yeses with their kids, like, hey, sometimes that happens. If I
Yeah.
were to be around that, I I do believe I could be influenced, to be someone different, but
Mm.
I've been fortunate enough to find people who understand the power in saying no,
Mhm.
and life's going to go on and everybody's going to be fine and we're still
Yeah.
going to have a good time and I don't
Yeah.
love you any less, but
Right.
like yeah, that sometimes when you're just by yourself or in a group with others where
Yeah.
that mom guilt is kind of taking over, it can be hard.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand that. I just don't want anybody to feel like they're alone there.
Oh, right. Even witnessing. Sometimes it comes back when you
Mhm.
witness another mother or parent, you're like, should I be saying yes? Should I have, should this be like, oh, I don't, how, are my kids going to be disappointed because they just witnessed these other kids get something that, like, going to go back to what I was feeling bad about Robert and not having this birthday. That child has now moved on. I guess he think he resurrected because he think Easter's his birthday. He has some big expectations about what he's supposed to get and want to run everybody's Amazon account. But I had to get over that hurdle. Like, oh, moms are giving these kids these special birthdays, and I should be doing that. Ma'am, no, it was a no because you had something else that was special. What we did was
Mhm.
just as special. It's just non-traditional. And even at this point, I think it is pretty traditional to like do different things with your kids outside of a birthday party. But I
Yeah.
think it's that piece, that disappoint, not wanting to disappoint anyone, right? The kids, most importantly, but it's like
Mm.
at this point, you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna have to hold that kid. Like, sorry, man, you're gonna feel that.
Yeah. I
But
mean, at the end of the day, they're never really fully satisfied anyway, are they?
right.
Like
No,
they're children,
no.
right? Like that
Yeah.
we can say yes right now and they have 10 more yeses they're looking for in the next hour, right? So it's just like, oh, I was not born a yes man, so we're gonna have to
Right. Right.
chill.
We gotta chill, man. You can and you it's okay. Like, I'm mad, I'm frustrated. I understand. You're not getting what you want.
Mm,
I get it. Still a
yeah.
no.
Yeah. I got a hug for you though. Yes, come
Right.
get this hug.
Right.
Yes, you can have
Right.
my loving.
Yes.
I got some yeses. They just don't look like
Yeah.
what you want right
Right.
now.
You got plenty choices to be happy. You want me to show you something else?
Yep, yep. And you're still a good mom. Like
Mhm.
these
Doesn't
kids,
change.
they
Yeah.
I think one thing I know as a 36-year-old now, like I get it.
Mhm.
No, these little ones are not gonna understand.
Yeah.
But when they get there, when it's time for them to understand, when they're in the shoes you're filling now,
Mhm.
it's all gonna click.
Yep.
All of it.
It
And it's just like
That's
they
right.
they don't. the PTO meeting that you missed, or the book fair that they didn't have money for, or like
Mhm.
whatever it is that left you
Right.
feeling guilty or kept you up at night, or
Yeah.
whatever that is. Like, the resilience in these kids, they, one, they're gonna forget.
Yeah.
Two, they're gonna realize that it wasn't that serious. They might have had
Yeah.
some big feelings around it then, and that was okay,
Mhm.
but they still had a very good life. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that simple. Like, they didn't miss anything. Not as
Right.
much as they thought they did.
Yeah, right, right. Like, actually, okay, I'm kinda glad that I got that no. You could think back at this age and be like, yeah, I'm pretty glad my mama didn't
Hmm.
let me do that. Yeah, I couldn't sleep over everybody's house. I couldn't do the. Some of those
Yeah.
no's you learn to appreciate. You grow into appreciation, that's for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You ever been out and seen some kids who didn't get no enough?
Oh, yeah, cause I wanna tell them no. "Hey, man, I'm about to parent you in a
See some
minute."
adults, yeah, they don't
Yeah.
know. You can tell they don't know how to process a no. It's just
Right,
like, oh, okay, I see, I see.
right. "What you
So,
doing?"
it's yeah, they
You just got a picture of somebody in your mind like, "Ooh,
I
ooh, this
did.
child."
Let me focus. Because you know what's so funny? It's the ones who don't get the no's. And I think this is why we have to strike the balance, right? Like, if everybody was just
Mhm.
balanced, that would be such a perfect world. The ones who don't get the no's are the ones who dish out the most no.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it's when the last time you called a no or giving a yes? Like,
Right.
you
They the
haven't.
real
So,
truly selfish, truly
yes,
embody
they are
selfishness.
truly selfish. So we have got to let go of that. Like, I'm being selfish by saying no here, or,
Mhm.
it's just the guilt. It's got to go out
Yeah.
the window. Out-
Yeah.
Leave that in yesterday.
Yes.
Don't
Right.
take that with you. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah,
Mm,
right? It's all about the boundaries of it all, right? That's
yes.
okay. It's not your job to hold it for everyone. You're not gonna like what I say. You're not gonna like what this no. That's okay. It's a boundary at this
Hmm.
point. It's some. We all got to do some self preservation, and with love. No, go ahead on take this no. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it, and you can receive it.
Hmm. And if you need help, there's so many resources.
Yeah.
So many resources. I know I've plugged it before, but that set boundaries, find peace changed
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
Even if you think you have the best boundaries, I encourage you to keep learning, to just read
Mhm.
more, to talk to people more, because sometimes what we think is the best for us can still use some tweaking, and
Yeah.
it's amazing just the outcomes.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
oh, but yes, boundaries
Yeah.
necessary.
100%.
They are necessary.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Well,
p
I think if we could give the audience
Mhm.
one thing to take away from today,
Yeah.
I think I would say just a reminder, that
Mhm.
saying no is an act of self-respect, not
Mhm.
rejection.
Yeah, that part.
No,
No,
yeah.
it's not rejection, right? And boundaries aren't walls. They're the doors that open to a life you can actually breathe in. Making
Mm,
space for yourself is so important.
yes. Yeah. So, I mean, you know,
Mhm.
stop what you're doing,
Mhm.
take a breath, breathe, look around, look at your calendar, look at your energy,
Mm.
and ask yourself, what do I actually want to say yes to?
Yes, right? Everything you say yes to means saying no to something else. So make sure it's
Hmm.
not yourself that you're putting last. So ask yourself that, like, is this a heartfelt yes? Or am I doing it
Hmm.
for something else and somebody else? And maybe the heartfelt no is a better choice.
Hmm. And you know what? I'm gonna throw this in there just because
Mm,
it just hit my spirit.
yeah.
It's okay to change
Yeah.
your response as well, or even your mind. Like,
Yeah.
it I understand, commitments are commitments, and I hear that, but let's really think about what's on the table, and
Mhm.
everything's not as serious as we want to believe, or
Mhm.
as we make it up to be in our minds.
Mhm.
If you can't make that play date,
Yeah.
say no. Send the
Right.
message, hey, I committed to this play date. It's not going to work. We're not going to
Right.
make it.
Right.
Send it.
Send
Protect
it.
your peace. It's okay to change your mind. You don't have to get it right the first time.
Yes.
You don't,
Right.
if there's yeses on your calendar right now, look at them.
Yeah.
What can you say no to? Because
Yep.
where how many yeses do you have for yourself on that calendar?
Mhm.
And just and take a step back and really process that
Right.
and get comfortable,
Yeah, get comfortable with
making that
putting yourself
decision.
first. Yeah,
Yeah, every
deciding for
day.
you. That's it right there. That's a good
Mhm.
one. I love that that came to you, right? The idea that you are allowed to change your mind and it's
Mhm.
okay. I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we hope
Mm.
this episode reminded you all that your no is powerful, protective, and it's enough.
Yeah. And if like me, needed to hear this today, those reminders,
Woo.
they be on time.
Okay.
But if you needed to hear this or someone in your circle does, share it with a friend. Send them
Mhm.
the link. Tag them on socials. Like
Mhm.
get this out there because one, I think we all
Mm.
need to hear it. Some of us have never heard
Yeah.
it before,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but we got to help each other.
We got with love, we got to help each other. Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know
Yes.
what I'm about to tell y'all. Do all the social media things, okay? Get this out. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Leave us a message. You could DM us, subscribe on the YouTube page, leave all the comments everywhere with YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Get on listen to all platforms. This episode you're gonna have to listen to a few times. It was just too many gems. Do it all. It helps us. And really, our goal is to help the community grow so everyone has this safe
Yes.
space.
Yes. And I mean, until next time, remember, you're allowed to say no
Mm,
without guilt.
mm-hmm.
You're allowed to protect your peace,
Mm,
and you're doing an incredible job
that's
in
right.
all of that.
That's right. All right. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.